Hello people, welcome back to another video. Today's video is about me talking about the Minecraft movie. My overall opinion of the movie is good. It is actually good. Like, when you meet all the characters, when you introduce all the characters, they do it in a good way. You know how you kind of understand who the person is. Especially Garbage Man, who seems tough but is dead soft in the inside. But you meet all the characters, you do it really good. And then after you meet all the characters, you meet Jack Black or Steve, you kind of get what happened before all that, where he's when he gets into the Minecraft world, then he gets captured by the main villain. I'll get onto that a bit more, but basically I kind of go through the background of what happened to Steve. Or in short, he wasn't able to get back to real world after the portal, the blue cube that's in a silver, as in a glass thing, that gets the main villain pops it out, which makes the portal not work, and so it's Steve's just stuck there for ages. Again, they did it good. You meet Henry, who's kind of your standard kid with a lot of creativity. Man builds a jetpack, kind of fails, and then hits the place where his older sister works. That's really funny. I'll give that 10 out of 10 for funny. But afterwards, after a while, Henry goes to Garbage Man's shop, sees a cube. At some point, they put it together. It's moving, it's trying to drag me to a certain place, which is when they go to the cave, of which they go through, and then they get to the portal where the overworld is, or Minecraft's overworld. His older sister and his sister's landlord, they come over trying to find Henry, which they do. Again, good movie, it's a good part. We cut back to Steve after the hogs, or after the main villain. Find those people and come back and don't do anything stupid. You already know Steve is just gonna completely ignore all that. Or just do everything not that. Of which he proceeds to find them, and then Steve helps him for a while. And then they eventually reach one village, one massive village. They go through it. There is a part where you see a pig with a crown on top, and then the pig walks across the path. And Steve says, "That's a legend." And then we just never mentioned, or I really do wish they said a bit more. But yeah, it's fine. They go to Steve's house / stash place. The group goes to Woodland Mansion to find the glass thing. It's at the cube, but not the glass. But they take a detour because Garbage Game Man or something needs a bit of money. So they go through the cave, which is nowhere near quicker. They get to the diamonds. Henry decides to sneakily get in, gets to the top, while Steve and Garbage Man gets into a wrestling fight, surrounded by the bad villagers. They do have a name, I've just forgotten. And it's literally Garbage Guy versus a chicken and a baby zombie. And then Garbage Man proceeds to get absolutely hammered. I'm moving to Henry. He goes through a bunch of chests. He finds a diamond axe, I think a diamond sword. But he eventually gets to he gets the glass, but he meets the Enderman. And then he gets memory washed or some shit, or something like that. He goes through a bunch of bad memories. I forget what it's called, but they give him a bad memory, or they just make his friends and go against him. But Henry just completely ignores it and then keeps swinging at the Enderman until he eventually kills and gets the Ender Pearl. And then he breaks the floor. And so by the way, after this, Steve is involved with the fight after freeing himself. Steve runs, jumps, hits the baby zombie, gets flung into another room, and then Henry comes through the roof. And then they get to the bridge, of which they kind of get surrounded. And then Steve, Henry, and Garbage Man escape with like with a gas. Nothing too interesting happens for a while, until the main villain attacks the overworld with like all of their like piglins and all that. Henry's older sister, there's like a bunch of like iron blocks with like two up and then 3 wide, and then starts like putting pumpkin heads on it, and then makes a bunch of like iron golems. And then there's like one special one with like feather, it's like kind of blue. It has like blue armor. God, it's actually pretty good. And then they get like a massive fight. Like the piglins and iron golems fight. And Henry's older sister and Henry run up to like the big nether portal, and they're trying to get to the blue like orb. No, he throws the pearl up, teleports up top, builds a very heavy quote unquote stair to reach the pearl, of which he can't reach for the life of him. And by the way, Steve is fighting the main villain. That's also kind of a good cutscene. Or a good scene. But Henry gets shot down by like a fireball. Which Henry falls and goes, no. Everybody says no. I think Garbage Man Garbage Man saves him. And then he takes him back to the orb. I think they get drove off course because like the pearl or the orb gets like crunched, like gets flung down like inside the battlefield. But like the big piglin comes after him, but the special iron golem like fucking saves them and then starts hammering on this piglin and kills it. God, is a good scene. And then you cut back to Steve still fighting the main villain, but at the end, you know, like the main villain's like, come here, and Steve's like, what are you gonna do, like, or try and stab me with like a knife? But Steve's just like, fine, comes over to her, and him, the main villain, tries to stab him, and then just like slaps the knife out of him. And this happens like 3 times, but after like the third, Steve just like walks and leaves. And then, now this is basically the end. They all get to like the main portal of like where they entered the overworld. All 4 of them go in, but Steve's like, no, I'm gonna stay because this and that, and Dennis. But he actually decides to he actually decides Dennis to go through the portal inside the real life, which is, damn, a bit saddening. It is a bit sad at the end, but it's also really happy. It's a good ending. Overall, it is a good movie, and I would recommend it. Don't do 3D though. I do not recommend the 3D version though, please. Like, the 3D glasses, don't. Just watch it normally, or like Odeon someplace. It's probably better, but it is a good movie. So with that, I shall see you later. Bye bye.